As you are aware, Uganda held its first SDG conference in June 2022. This conference brought together the three arms of government, that is the executive, the legislature, and judiciary, as well as ministries, departments, and agencies, development partners, the private sector, civil society organizations, the academia, and the media, among others, to discuss the implementation of the Sustainable Development Goals. After the first conference, the Cabinet made some very important recommendations, which among others included conducting a national assessment of Leave No One Behind to understand who is not included in the Sustainable Development Agenda. The Leave No One Behind assessment was done by the Office of the Prime Minister, and the report will be launched in July this year. That's why you are seeing us talking in terms of Parish Development Model. Your contribution is highly appreciated. The other Cabinet recommendation was the integration of Agenda 2063 into the National Development Goals Coordination Framework, since both agendas have similar aspirations and are interlinked. The National SDG Secretariat has already conducted an assessment on the integration of the Agenda 2063 in the district development plans. The integration of the Agenda 2063 into the National SDGs Coordination Framework is aimed at aligning the country's development priorities with those of the African Union and ensuring that national development plans are consistent with a broader continental agenda. This will enable Uganda to benefit from the regional integration and cooperation and leverage resources and expertise from the African countries. The third Cabinet recommendation was that the SDG conference be organized annually as a platform where all stakeholders will continuously reflect on SDG progress, identify and showcase innovations, as well as make policy recommendations for accelerating SDG implementation and achievement. Ladies and gentlemen, as you all know, before this second SDG conference, 4 regional SDG festivals and forums were held to mobilize all Ugandans to embrace the SDGs. The regional SDG festivals and forums used a bottom-up approach, which means the discussions we have held here were based on the perspectives of citizens, both at local and national level. This approach is consistent with our NRM ideology of working closely with the wananchi to deliver transformation. Therefore, as you have all seen, our minister bring up all the recommendations the conference has generated, and the recommendations from the same. I want to assure you that we are committed to include these recommendations so that we can develop our country. These recommendations or resolutions highlight the importance of collaboration and coordination across different sectors and levels of government to achieve the Sustainable Development Goals. I promise that the outcomes of this conference and the primary regional events will be presented to Cabinet and the UN SDG Summit of the United Nations General Assembly in September this year. I therefore direct the SDG Secretariat to make this happen. Ladies and gentlemen, Uganda has made notable progress on its journey towards achieving the Sustainable Development Goals. The government, in partnership with United Nations and other stakeholders, has developed and implemented a comprehensive SDG coordination framework and roadmap. This framework has guided the integration of the SDGs into the national policies, plans, and programs, aligning them with the country's development priorities, such as the National Development Plan 3. Uganda has actively engaged different stakeholders, including local governments, civil society organizations, and the private sector, to promote SDG implementation and localization. The availability of internationally comparable data on the SDGs has significantly improved, allowing for evidence-based decision-making and monitoring. Uganda has also been proactive in conducting voluntary national reviews, presenting its progress and challenges in SDG implementation at global level. As I conclude, ladies and gentlemen, let me once again recognize the immense contribution by the SDG Secretariat and the Minister for General Duties in the Office of the Prime Minister, the Right Honorable Kasule Lumumba, for the work well done. Allow me also to recognize the contribution by our partners who are working with us on our sustainable development journey through the SDG Secretariat in the Office of the Prime Minister, that is the United Nations agencies, the Royal Danish Embassy, the SDG Champions, Uganda National NGO Forum, Save the Children, World Vision, my brother here, Bank of Uganda. I want to say thank you so much. And lastly, thank you for making this conference a success. I would like to request that all of you, or all of us, the conference delegates, ensure that the actions agreed upon in this two-day gathering are followed and implemented to accelerate the achievement of the SDG, as you are aware. On behalf of government, headed by His Excellency the President, who is now okay, as you already know, I want to promise that, I want to promise once again that your recommendations and resolutions made today have, from the ministries, departments and agencies, and you, the development partners, will be forwarded to the respective ministries, departments and agencies through cabinet for immediate action. With these words, ladies and gentlemen, I officially close the second Uganda Annual SDG Conference 2023 and wish you safe journeys back home for God and my country.